Friday workshop time, everybody.
Hello, welcome.
How you doing, Sarah?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's been quite a day. Um, some of you may have been with us a little earlier today when we had a conversation about the newest Nobel laureate and his one of his contributions to fiction. So we had a very good, lively discussion. If you'd like to go back and watch that, please do. I think it went really well. I'm really
Honestly,
happy
one
with
of
it.
our better ones. It doesn't hurt that we've got Nobel material,
You
but
know,
I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
me
Y'all, we
too.
are so excited about today. We are going to be welcome back. So glad you're here. Well, tuning in from Ireland at this
I
late
love
hour.
it.
We're
Yeah, it's
so
like
glad you're here.
9 or 10 p.m. there.
Yeah, let's just let us know if you're here. Let us know. What with the plan here, the agenda is that we've got a presentation. We're going to chat here for a few minutes, let people get settled in, and then Sarah and I have a presentation about the weird and the eerie, what these
We
words
do.
mean in horror, how we can use them, and then a really fun exercise that we came up with. So that's the
Well, that
game plan. We're just gonna like pass a few minutes time here to let folks settle in. For the exercise, you are going to need a computer. We're sharing a Google Doc, so grab it if you're on your phone or not, or just follow along because certainly the entire presentation you don't need one. It's going to be really cool. It's
it
going to be
is going to
really
be
cool. Sarah,
cool.
what besides getting a deeper understanding of the weird and eerie in this presentation, what are your goals here for this workshop?
Well, first I want to say hi to everyone. We've got B Burns, we've got Lore Huntress, we've got 51 Tesla, we've got people, and I'm so delighted to see you all. Thank you for being here. I guess as far as the goals in our workshop, so it was really interesting sort of diving into this. And you guys, Asa gives me so much credit. He's like, yeah, it's the writing exercise we came up with. It was the writing exercise that Asa came up with. So
Well, we're in this together, Sarah,
we are, but you're
there's
too kind. You're too generous.
well,
Which is not a fault, but it is appreciated. So thank you. But I'm really interested to dive more into the difference between weird and eerie, and I'm excited about doing that in a way in which I learn best, which is creating about it. Like I one of the reasons I write is to like process things I don't understand, which is most things. And like, so actually doing an exercise in which we write for each one, I'm really excited to see like what I'm going to learn from that and how that's going to feel. So I'm like super gung ho about these exercises. So
same.
how about yourself? Like,
I just while so Sarah and I are both writers. We just have radically different sort of experiences though in terms of what we've written and what we've consumed. I'm excited to learn from you in this workshop because I think that Sarah curated the films that we're going to be talking about today, and I'm excited to just kind of riff a little bit and excited to riff with y'all, B and Lore and 51 Tesla, because I think this is going to be an all hands on deck type workshop because these are complicated concepts. This is not like build suspense by with this is we're kind of really going there here with some advanced horror writing, and we're students in this quest as well. And I'm just hoping, to improve my understanding and also just kind of understand how other people think about this stuff.
mm,
You know,
so good. Yeah. I love that. I love that we're here, we're trying to understand things together. It's perfect.
it's perfect.
It's
It's
perfect.
perfect. Should we dive in, Sarah?
I
Is it
think we
time?
should dive in.
Is it
I
time?
think it is. I think it's time. I
Okay,
think it's time.
everybody. Here
Settle in,
we
everyone.
go. I'm going to make this banner go away. And on we are with the presentation. Let's talk about horror writing, the weird and the eerie. Here
Yes.
we go. So, agenda, warm up, yapping. We did that.
Check.
Intro to the weird and check. Intro to the weird and eerie. We are going to define these terms. We are going to give examples of these, and then we're going to try to think about them in a practical sense, how to execute them in our writing through an exercise. We'll share. There's a Discord. So for all of you who are on the Discord, that might be a great opportunity to use that today to share longer work. So be on the lookout there. There's a share your excerpt channel. The works cited here, where these ideas are sort of fully articulated in a fully theoretical and comprehensive place, is this book that Sarah and I have both been working our way through called The Weird and the Eerie by the critic, Mark Fisher. So if you want to go deeper, this is where to go. Our goal. Yes, as I said, Sarah and I are both writers. We are both writers trying to scare our readers, at least from time to time in our work. So the objective here is to refine our sense of what's scary, try to home in on specific versions of that, and talk about how these ideas of weird and eerie can help us achieve that.
Yes.
Bada boom, bada bing. Here we go, folks. We're diving in. Okay, goggles on. This is it. It's time. Okay. In short, in one sentence, the difference between the weird and the eerie is the weird is about presence and the eerie is about absence. So we're gonna unpack that. But if your imagination is turning, you can properly already start to imagine what these two different concepts are in horror media.
Right. And these are not the only two things that are scary. I want to point that out too. Like, it's not just, is it weird or is it eerie? We're just talking about the weird and the eerie. I mean, there's also the, grotesque and the disgusting and there's a lot going on in horror. So we're just covering two, I don't know if I even want to say opposing, but two complementary even.
I think it's just a way of thinking, right? It's like, for me, that's how this is, it's a way of thinking about this, that it just expands my understanding of this genre. I'm going to read this. So now we're going deeper. The weird is about presence. The eerie is about absence. That's our broadest stroke. Here we're going to go a little more specific. The weird and the eerie both describe encounters with the unknown, but they unsettle us in different ways. The weird happens when something appears in the world that shouldn't exist at all, an impossible presence that breaks the rules of reality like a mysterious door to another world. We'll talk about some examples of that. The eerie, by contrast, comes from absence or uncertainty, when something that should be there is missing, or when we sense a hidden force acting without explanation, like a deserted landscape that still feels watched. Essentially, the weird is about what's too much for our world, why the eerie haunts us with what's missing. A subtle distinction right off the bat that we will further explore, but I had to take a little while to unpack for myself, is that the eerie can also be the presence of something that doesn't belong, that's expected. A subtle difference between the weird is something that's in there that's completely not expected. The eerie can also include the presence of something. So we'll dig into that. Starting with the weird, we're going to go into these concepts one by one now. We're going to talk through some examples. I'm so glad people are in the chat. Laura Huntress is baking ziti and chocolate chip pumpkin bread at the same time. Oh my God, why am I giving a horror workshop?
I know.
That
we're coming
sounds
over.
Incredible. Okay. The weird. The basics of the weird is an intrusion of something that doesn't belong. We've said that. Other ways to think about this. The weird means putting something in that defamiliarizes you from the world, destabilizes your sense of reality. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah here. Films, we've seen a lot of these movies. We're going to talk about how the weird and the eerie work in fiction, work in literature, but to help get the basics, let's try to get the basics through some of these films that maybe some of y'all have seen. Let's hear it, Sarah. Take it away.
Yeah. So, okay. And I'm looking at this now, and I was going between, I wanted to pick 3 for each of these so it wouldn't get overwhelming because there's so many movies. And now, honestly, given Asa, that previous slide and your definition of weird, I want to flip out, and we don't have to do this, just and we're going to talk about it. Instead of Color Out of Space, I want to talk about I Saw the TV Glow. Um,
Okay, copy that.
so,
Copy that.
oh, no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, no, don't
actually.
do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Or you
Okay.
know what? I can also like go into it. I have the picture right here. Here, you know
I
what?
think we can just hang with you. You start talking. Oh, you look at you. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here
This
for
is
it.
this
This
is
is this is real time editing. How about that?
wow. I'm genuinely impressed. That was
Thank
real
you.
time.
Thank you. It's real
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
It's from my giant folder of movie posters of movies that I've seen because I'm a normal person. Okay, so weird movies. So my number one, the first thing I thought of here was my favorite movie, Annihilation, based on a book by, ironically, coincidentally, Jeff Vandermeer, who is the editor of our big book of science fiction. Um, Annihilation is it explores the weird in that I don't know if I necessarily want to say that it's about a pocket universe or anything like that, but basically it checks all of the boxes from the explanation that that Asa just shared with us. So intrusion of something that doesn't belong. There's this thing called Area 51. It's intruding into, I believe it's southern Florida, and nobody's sure what it is. It's a mysterious presence. Everything inside of it is unfamiliar, destabilized, destabilizing. Anything that goes in there changes subtly or not so subtly. Animals in there are like strange, like hybrids. There's flowers growing there that shouldn't be. You get weird, like doppelgangers of yourselves. Reality literally becomes permeable. Like it's like all the check boxes here. So if you've seen Annihilation, if you haven't seen it, I've heard it described as Lovecraftian, which I didn't know until after I had watched it. I saw it, and this was before I really got into Lovecraft at all. And like Lovecraft is classic weird with a capital W. The intrusion of, you know, the elder gods and figures like Cthulhu amongst the everyday is very standard weird. Um, I love that in the comments, both Lore and 51 Tesla are making pumpkin muffins or pumpkin bread. So
Yeah. They don't call it spooky pumpkin spice season for nothing.
it's
Folks.
perfect. You guys are literally perfect. So, okay. I saw the TV Glow. This was a more recent one. It's a A24 film. Oh, I should have said Annihilation is Alex Garland. I saw the TV Glow is distributed by A24, and it is, again, it is the intrusion of not only a monster. So, like, I also have Cloverfield on here, which is just a monster, but it's the intrusion of another reality, like overlaying with ours. And the intrusion is the like perception of this TV show called The Pink Opaque that two young people used to watch together in their youth. And the way that they remember the TV show is different from what they actually see upon rewatching it. And it really starts to change and mess with not only how they perceive the world and themselves, but their very identities. And it's a great horror movie. So
I love that.
I
I'm
loved.
so glad. I'm so glad you brought up that film.
It's so good. It's so good. And then Cloverfield is. I have this like huge list. I love monster movies, and there's The Host. There's all the Godzilla movies. There's Pacific Rim, but Cloverfield I chose because once again, it is the story of a monster, and it's the classic monster in a big city destroying everything. And it just causes a lot of havoc. It causes people maybe not to think they're going insane, so much as maybe a movie like The Thing, which was also a contender for this list, but I liked the green from Cloverfield next to the other colors. The end. Sorry.
Valid.
I'm not sorry.
So valid.
I'm not sorry.
If you're just popping on the stream, everyone, welcome. We are into the discussion of the weird and the eerie, currently deep diving into what makes weird, shortly getting to the eerie.
Yes. And there's also, I'm just going to say one more thing. The Thing was also another contender. Anything by like
you
John
want to talk
Carpenter,
about The Thing really briefly? That is a classic. Yeah.
You know what? Let's this is how I do things. I'm like, you know what? We're already almost done with this slide, but I'm not going to change it this time. But we're going to talk about, instead of Cloverfield, The Thing is '84, I think, movie by John Carpenter. It's actually called John Carpenter's The Thing. It stars a young Russell. What's his name? Kirk Russell. Thank
Yes.
you. And basically, it is a thing, very ubiquitous, that comes to Earth, question mark, and infects people, and not only infects their bodies, but infects their minds with suspicion and distrust. And it's full of really great, like Cronenbergian body horror and gore. So it also has, I believe, Wilford Brimley is in it. It's just an incredible movie. I've seen it a lot, and like every time I watch it, I'm just like happier and happier. So we're gonna say The Thing, just more so than Cloverfield, just because of, at the end of the movie, it has people doubting reality, themselves, each other. The very fabric of humanity is torn apart, literally and figuratively.
Well put. I'm glad we went there with The Thing. That is
Me
super
too.
useful. So we see weird in fiction, primarily here. Sarah and I are talking about fiction on the channel. And so we definitely want to dig into one of these as efficiently as possible. Not everyone necessarily will have read these, but I think we can summarize these stories and talk about how they exemplify these concepts. The Door in the Wall by H.G. Wells. I'm going to read the summary of this story. In H.G. Wells' The Door in the Wall, a successful man named Leonel Wallace recounts discovering a strange green door in a white wall as a child, which led to, if you go through the door, a beautiful dreamlike garden. Throughout his life, he keeps encountering the door again in different places, each time feeling torn between his worldly ambitions and the pull of that mysterious paradise. In the end, he's found dead after apparently mistaking a mundane door for the one from his visions, leaving it unclear whether the door was real or a fatal illusion. So this is a great example of the weird, the other. If we were in high school, I'd be like, why is this the weird? But we're not. I think you guys can put it together. The door is this thing that does not believe in this universe. It is intruding. We talked about that idea. It's intruding our world. It's destabilizing. We're talking about that world, destabilizing the world that we know. I want to engage with these comments because we've got some really smart folks in the comments per usual. Please let us know and challenge, and let's get in here. So B says, Lovecraft just really does resonate with me. Weird, but not necessarily in a good way. Laura Huntress. I want
to address just that real quick. Sorry. That is so valid. I'm just going to call you B. Lovecraft also really did not resonate with me either. It was hard for me to read. I didn't like his political views, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of different flavors of weird, and hopefully someone who's doing it in a way that you enjoy. I also, can we segue into B's next comment then?
Yes, let's get in there. Yeah.
Which is, do you think the weird is subjective? Yes. The original The Thing movie from the 1950s is not weird now because we've seen so much sci-fi by now. Yes. Like I said a little bit earlier, we're talking about kind of two really subjective taxonomy classifications. And the reason it was so hard for me to pick films to put on these slides was like, I was like, oh, is this one weird or eerie, or is it both? And there is a tradition in sci-fi. So like within sci-fi, there is the tradition of the weird with a W, a capital W. And it's like very specifically has to do with like this thought of like something from another realm or another plane trespassing in ours, and like the human reaction to that, and like what it does to our minds and our own realities. And so I think like there's like weird with a lowercase w, which is like a lot of things, probably including myself. But then there's also weird with a capital W, which is sort of more having to do with like specifically giant intruding powers or monsters or forces, or like Area 51 in Annihilation. So I don't know if that's helpful, or and I might be off base as well, but just from what I've seen and read, that kind of helped me make that decision, or that division.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's important to say that the weird doesn't have to be strange. that the thing about weird is it's just other, like it doesn't belong. You know, and I think you know, it could be like you go into a play, those like playrooms in the McDonald's where there's the balls and there's the balls and the balls and the balls, and all of a sudden there's like a piece of coal, right?
Oh, I
Or
thought you were gonna
you know,
say like something horrible.
well, that's where I'm
Like
going.
a
I think
foot.
like
Oh.
the weird can be something subtle. It's just something that doesn't belong. It's an intrusion. Although I think we could totally argue that that also could be described as eerie. But the idea is like, it is kind of an abstract idea. It doesn't necessarily have to be strange. My understanding at this point, it doesn't have to be like weird, but it just has to be like other and foreign.
Right. And often like in one piece of literature or a movie, there's examples of a lot of different types of this kind of horror. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
okay.
All right, let's keep jamming here. So this story, as we just described, we've got this door. Why is it weird? The mysterious green door appearing in ordinary London wall disrupts reality. This is the essence of the weird, an encounter with the outside that exposes the limits of what we think is possible.
Can I just bring up too?
Yeah.
I always think together in my mind, I read H.G. Wells's The Door on the Wall at an early age, around which time I also read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, which is a very similar premise. There is a door, in this case, a wardrobe. It opens up into another realm that really shouldn't exist. However, I've never really heard the Narnia series classified as weird fiction. Just a little thought.
I think we just did.
Okay, good. Okay, it's weird
I
fiction.
think we just heard it classified. as
Lovecraft and C.S. Lewis together forever at last.
such. Let's hope.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, wrapping up the weird before we get on to the eerie. I'm going to read these out loud if you're listening to the stream. These are just some other ways to think about this. The weird is about presence, introduces a new alien element into a familiar context. Here's an example, like a clown in a closet or the
Wow.
monstrous in a seemingly normal landscape. See Cloverfield.
Mhm.
The weird is about juxtaposition. The weird arises from the incongruous combination of two things that should not coexist, like a random door to a magical garden in London, challenging our fundamental beliefs about reality, questions what is possible. And then lastly, it generates horrified fascination. The weird can
Mhm.
both be repulsive and compelling. And then Lovecraft is cited there. And I do think, you know, taste aside, I mean, I think we all kind of are like learning about Lovecraft here. There is that at work there, right? There's the grandeur, the majestic nature of the monsters in Lovecraft, the kind of transcendent nature of them, but they're also monsters that are gnarly looking, gross, described as terrible, all that good stuff. So, are we ready for the eerie?
I think we are. I'm still thinking about Narnia, and I was like, well, it's not scary, but like going back, like the White Witch is scary. And she has like that garden of grotesque sculptures of creatures that she's frozen. So I was gonna say, oh, it's not weird, capital W, because it leaves you feeling warm and fuzzy, but no, it is, because there's some like kind of repulsive elements to it. Okay. Look for my
I
upcoming
love
TED
this.
Talk.
I mean, this sounds like a whole video essay. All right, the eerie. Okay, so similarly, we're gonna get, if this is like all these like granular ideas about the weird, which we're also going to do with the eerie. But to start, let's start big picture. The eerie is when something is missing, okay, or expected agency has failed, and we'll talk about that. So it's just, again, per the macro idea here. Oh, whoops, I'm not even up with my little
I'm just nodding. I'm
Here we
for
go.
it.
Yes. Right. So per the big idea, let's go back. Let me just quickly zoom back to the big idea here that we're talking about. The weird is about presence. The eerie is about absence. Does everyone see that? Yes, they do. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're at with the eerie, is the absence of stuff. Now, let's try to figure this out vis-a-vis movies. Let's see if we can explain it this way again.
Okay, so This was hard. Okay. The weird slide was hard because I had, a lot of movies. I had a huge wealth of movies to put onto the weird slide. The eerie slide was a little harder because, and you'll notice maybe that these don't all necessarily 100% fit. 28 Days Later is largely a weird movie. It has the intrusion of zombies through a virus. However, the first section of this movie is very eerie because Cillian Murphy wakes up in a hospital bed, looks around. There's nobody in the hospital. He wanders outside. There's nobody in the streets. He's in London, which is usually very busy. And so we're left with this like very uncomfortable feeling of um, just loneliness, of mystery, of where have the people gone? They're absent and it's upsetting to us. Hey, Ian. Oh, okay. So Ian says liminal spaces. Um, Another reason I had trouble with this slide is because I think that they're coming out with are they coming out with a Backrooms movie? I think they are. I could actually find more examples of the eerie in video games than I could in movies. Video games wise, if you've played the Backrooms, it is a liminal space game. And basically, you get this increasing sense of dread as you walk through the impossible geometry and never ending windowless liminal space. It's like you're in a doctor's waiting room forever and there's no door, no windows. It's this awful liminal feeling. It's become really popular lately in horror. And I really wish the movie was out so I could put the poster up here. But hey, speaking of video games, I could not in good conscience put the Silent Hill movie poster on this slide because it's bad. But the games themselves are very good, very enjoyable, and very eerie. Silent Hill 2, this poster is from the remake that just came out. Basically, this character goes to a place called Silent Hill. It's gray, it's foggy, it's eerie. There's not many other people around. The people who are around are like weird and they're all missing something. Everybody's missing social context. And I think that's just a great overall representation of the eerie. Coherence, which is the third movie that I chose for this one, could have also gone on the weird slide. So again, B, we were talking earlier about how these are really subjective things. Oh, yeah, and I see Laura's comment came in, the theme of ghosts and horror, especially with historic connections. The other movie that I was thinking of instead of Coherence to put on here was a ghost story movie like The Others or Paranormal Activity, where a ghost is sort of the outline of a person. It's the absence of a person where we expect a human being to be. And so ghost stories are really, really, really great examples of the eerie. Haunted houses, houses that are empty, and it just feels wrong. So pretend Coherence is in there. Oh, I'm the worst. But yeah, I mean, Asa, what do you think? Are there any good eerie examples of movies that you can think of that I'm missing?
I mean, I'm so glad you brought up 28 Days Later, just to remind anyone of that opening scene or to paint as vivid a picture as I can. The opening sequence is you have Cillian Murphy, the protagonist of 28 Days Later, walking on an abandoned highway in London. Famously, they cleared a highway for this shot. There's littered newspapers everywhere, blowing in the wind. The buildings are abandoned, and we have this overwhelming sense of absence. Like the entire society is gone. And for me, that's like one of the most ready ways to understand this concept is like ruins or like a playground with no children. It's just kind of places for me. The kind of brass tacks of this is like imagining a place where there should be people where there aren't. And so I'm so glad you brought up 28 Days Later, as an example. I don't have like other great examples in mind. I'm wondering if other folks in the comments could think about this and think about how some other examples that come to mind where there is this deep sense of absence. I am curious about that. In the meanwhile, this also exists at length in fiction. So briefly here, a story by, I don't know how to pronounce, Du Maurier, Don't Look
Yes.
Now. I'm just going to read the description of this story and we can talk about how the Eerie functions in fiction. In Du Maurier's Don't Look Now, a grieving couple vacationing in Venice meet two elderly sisters, one of whom claims to be psychic and says she can see their dead daughter. The husband begins glimpsing a small figure in a red coat, like the one his daughter wore, flitting through the city's canals. His search to uncover the truth ends in tragedy. So, what do we make of this? There is a new element, right? The element that is added is this the small figure in a red coat, which seemingly could be weird, but I think the critical difference here is the proximity of a small figure in a red coat to his daughter, right? It's adjacent. It's not some crazy monster. So to me, this is like, it doesn't belong, but it's still kind of in conversation with the established universe.
Boy, also,
yeah,
like,
go ahead.
that has big Schindler's List vibes.
Oh, good.
Like, I wonder if that inspired anything. Also, is this Daphne du Maurier who wrote
Yes.
Rebecca? Okay, perfect,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
I haven't read this story.
And then this is, okay, right. The critical piece here is, right, Venice not haunted by monsters, but an unsettling emptiness and misread signals. There is a dead daughter. There's the absence of a nuclear family member, but is she gone? Unseen forces shaping events, suggesting the agency itself is in question. Yeah, so that's like hella abstract and conceptual, but I think we can hang with that, which is to say what is causing what. If that is muddied, if who is causing what is unclear, we have the Eerie at work. Whew. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we're getting there.
I do too. There's just still so much overlap for me. Like,
yeah.
But again, like, I think 28 Days Later is such a good example of that because it has both specifically this kind of eerie that we're talking about, the absence of people where there should be people, and the presence and intrusion of, the fast zombies.
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe this is like a real kind of breakthrough here, is that the weird and the eerie these aren't subgenres. These are elements,
Yes.
And I think that maybe that's going to kind of help us get this, is like, yeah, a movie or a story can have both. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was thinking too about like Event Horizon, and it's like, well, is that eerie? Is that weird? Is it both? And I kind of came to the conclusion that it was both. And I ended up with a lot that were both. Oh, yes. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff too here still
Ian
going
Henderson,
on.
Henderson, IH Books. Ian, I don't know if you're on YouTube, but shout out if you are. I think you are. I think I recognize you maybe. House on Haunted Hill, Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting. It's an empty mansion where potentially nothing is happening, but the characters feel that it is, taken in by history spooked emptiness. Yeah, I can speak to that for sure with The Haunting of Hill House. We never really know where the threat is coming from. If it's in their head, it's like, yes, I love this. I love this example. And yeah, just per this sense of places, that does seem to be characteristic of the Eerie, like we were talking about before, about like playgrounds and that kind of thing. The overall hits here of, wait a second, stand by, everybody. I want to get this back up.
Oh, the presentation, yeah.
And then the big ideas. Okay, so yeah, so we've talked about some examples just to try to like plant some more seeds. The Eerie manifests itself. There's two sides of the same coin. The failure of a presence, which essentially is that there is an absence of something that should be there. There should be people in London. There are not. Or the failure of an absence. Okay, so this one's the one that's a little less intuitive. Something shouldn't be there, but kind of is. I like this example at the very bottom of this slide, a TV that shows some static, right? Like we've seen that so many times in like The Ring or something like that, where it's like, there's no reason why the TV should have static right now. But it does. And it's not quite weird. It's not like a total intrusion on the universe because like TVs do get static, but it's like it has some right now and it shouldn't. So something is amiss.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, also, can we see
Yeah.
the bottom of the slide?
Oh, shoot.
We
Ian's
gotta
comment. Here we
yeah, thank
go.
you.
Yeah, here we go. I'm so glad
That's
you did
good.
that.
Okay.
Right. Anything
Ooh,
else
but
stand out
feels
to
like
you?
something is behind it. I love that. Yeah, I
Right.
love one of the things too, and maybe this is just because you and I both come from podcasting and audio, but failure of absence, the feeling of a sound that seems to have an extra unexplainable quality or a disembodied voice without a clear source. I love that. If you listen to the sound design in any of the movies that we've featured here on either the Weird or the Eerie slide, go through and watch them with an ear for the sound if you can. It makes a huge difference, especially the sound design in Annihilation is spectacular. So, yes.
B, thanks
Yes,
for weighing in.
Poltergeist, classic static. Yes.
The original movie, The Haunting, is so eerie, black and white, and so creepy and eerie. Although the eeriness comes not from absence, but knowing something is there, but not
Mhm.
knowing what it is. Amazing. Thank you, B, for this
Mhm.
comment. That's exactly the second kind of eerie. Poltergeist.
Yeah, classic static.
I've never seen Poltergeist.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's not what you think it is. Like I watched Poltergeist recently for the first time and I was just like blown away. So, you're going to have to watch it. It is not what you think it is. But
All
yes,
right.
there is a little girl classic image sitting in front of a TV of static, hearing something that not everyone else can hear.
Okay. Well, that sounds like the eerie. All right,
Mhm.
y'all. I'm putting a link in the comments. So the link here in this comments, I don't know if you can highlight links in comments in YouTube. If you can't, it's also in the video description. What we're going to do now is give this a shot ourselves through a little writing exercise. Okay. This is the jam. So, yes, passage in chat and vid description. What you will see here in this doc. Okay, I'm seeing animal and anonymous Wolverine is here. Anonymous Gopher is here. I'm so glad you're in the mix. What you see here is a passage from a novel by Guy Maupassant. I want to say this is one of the early scenes. So I chose this text for a couple reasons. First, it's public domain, so we can have fun with it without stepping on legal toes. Additionally, this is kind of a neutral passage. And the game plan here is to transform this passage into a mini micro fiction story that is either eerie or weird. I'm going to read this little story out to y'all in case you're listening at home. She was a little provincial girl. Oh, wait, let's see. I could put this up on the screen, couldn't I? Stand by. Stand by. Share screen. Here is the story. Can you see that? Nope, not yet.
Not
Add to
quite yet.
stage. There we go.
Beautiful.
Okay. Is it big enough? I'm gonna go bigger.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I think that's great.
Try to get it all to fit in one. Well, sorry, folks. There we go. It's a little bigger. Okay,
Good.
I'm going to read it. She was a little provincial girl who had come up to Paris for the first time. Her father, a country lawyer, had sent her to stay with her aunt for a month so that she might see the city. Her aunt lived in a quiet street near the Luxembourg Gardens, and the girl often went out walking alone. One afternoon, she wandered farther than usual and found herself on a great boulevard full of people and noise and sunlight. She stood for a moment watching the carriages go by and reading the signs above the cafes. She felt suddenly excited and free, as though she had escaped something. Then a man spoke to her. He was neatly dressed and smiling, and he began to walk beside her. At first she was afraid, but his manner was so polite that she listened to him. He told her that he was an artist, that he loved life and beauty, and that she looked like a dream he had painted. She blushed and laughed. The crowd moved around them, indifferent. The girl hesitated, not knowing whether to go on or to turn back. Then, without quite realizing it, she let him lead her toward a cafe door. Inside, it was quiet and cool. She sat down, still laughing a little, though she did not know why. So, cool passage, right?
Yeah. What book is this from?
It's from, okay, so I haven't read this novel. A girl, A Girl in Paris,
I
something
mean, I
like
guess
that.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Oh, that's great.
And yeah, so obviously, it's like where my head went when I read this was kind of like, um, oh, is it weird or is it eerie? We're talking about weird and eerie, and you can read that into this, but I think that that's just kind of like any narrative has a bit of conflict, a bit of mystery. So I think that this is a relatively neutral passage. And the exercise at hand here, whoop, it's not that, is you can copy and paste this text from the Google Doc into your own Word doc. And we're all going to do this. Sarah and I are going to do this as well.
Yes.
Just rewrite this passage and include the eerie, add a presence, or take something out, absence, and include the eerie. Sarah and I are each going to do this. This is what's going to happen next, folks. We're going to do this. Sarah, do you want the weird or do you want the eerie?
Well, I was just about to ask you because, you know what? I'm going to take the eerie if that's okay. Are you okay
Love.
doing the weird? Is that
I'm
okay?
okay with doing, yeah, great. Love it.
Okay.
And what we'll do here is, so Sarah and I are going to do that and we'll share. And additionally, all y'all, hopefully, will do this as well. And if any brave soul out there wants to share, they can. I'm going to put a link to a Discord server that Sarah and I run. There's a channel on there for sharing excerpts. And so if you want to share your work, you can join this Discord, throw it in. No promises that we'll share it or that we'll be able to share all of them, but feel free to. Feel free to. So I was thinking 10 minutes here. How does that sound? Does that sound like the right amount of time?
That sounds good.
15?
Yeah, let's do 10. No, let's do 10 minutes.
See where we get?
That'll push me in like a good way.
Okay. Any questions before we dive into this? Anyone?
And if you do have questions during the exercise, I'll keep an eye on chat and yeah, we'll be happy to respond.
Yeah, let me throw up a timer.
I'm excited about this.
I am too. I think this is going to be cool. Okay, so wait, you're doing eerie, right, Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, if that's okay.
That's 100% okay. All right, party people, let's do this. 10 minutes, and then we'll see where we're all at. Good luck.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
need more time? I think we do.
I could stop now, or I could add another sentence or two. It's kind of up to you.
Okay, let's do. Can I have 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Is that
3
crazy?
minutes actually is a wonderful amount. Okay, ready?
Okay, 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes, everyone. Hello and welcome back, folks.
Okay, welcome back. Okay. Yes, Ian, sorry if I wasn't clear. The idea there is to, I put a sample passage in the Google Doc, and the idea is to rewrite it to make it either weird or eerie based on everything we've been talking about. So what happened is, Sarah, you did eerie, I did weird. Try to get my camera back in focus here. Would you want to just briefly talk about what that experience was like for you, Sarah?
Yeah. Oh, Discord just told me my message is too long, but that's okay because I'll be reading it anyway.
Oh, well, you know, if you send me the link, I could share screen it.
Man. Okay. Oh boy, this is like I'm not going to say this is like submitting something for publication, but
while you're doing that, since
there you go.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
It's
Okay,
in
so
our private chat.
It's in the StreamYard. Right. So that was the exercise, is to experiment with this. All right, I'm going to request access from you, Sarah.
All right, and I'll award access to you. This is how businesses run. Not that we're not a business, but this is how things get done. Absolutely. So you asked about my experience writing this. It was, for me, it was really helpful to turn it into something visual
Mm.
in my mind. I didn't write it as a screenplay, but the scene that I imagined was a lot more visual than a lot of the writing that I usually do. And so that was that was just a very different experience for me. And I really enjoyed doing it. So, I mean, as always, these exercises really help me to understand different ways of writing and hopefully uh, better ways of writing. So, how about yourself? And also, did that go through
Um,
for you?
it did. It did. It took a second,
Perfect.
but it just went through. Great. I see it. I see it. I see it. I'll put it up. I mean, it was rad. It was really cool. I honestly just kind of got like taken away or swept
Mm,
away and deviated slightly, maybe, but that's part of the fun here
it
on these
is.
streams, isn't it? So, all right, y'all, I'm going to share
Well,
Sarah's.
do you want to
Yeah,
do
go
eerie
ahead.
first and then do weird, or do you want to do weird first and
Should
then
we
do
do weird? You want to do mine first? Or should we? Is that what you're
either's
thinking?
fine.
Either
Either's
fine.
fine.
Okay,
Either's
I'm
fine.
gonna get that little banner out of the way. Okay, I'll share
Perfect.
mine.
Perfect.
Share. Okay. Yep. Stand by. Stand by.
I'm really interested to see what you wrote.
Okay, everybody. Here we go. I'm gonna make it all fit. Hopefully. Oh, almost. Can you see
Mine will
it? Is it?
probably
Oh,
not
it's
fit.
not up yet. Okay.
Not
Here
yet.
we go.
Oh, there we go.
Add to stage. And maybe if I do this, it's nope. Okay, folks, I'm going to read my little story.
Do it.
And so, just to review, or if you're joining the stream, what we're doing here is trying to figure out how to write the weird, how to write the eerie, how to inject these horror elements into our fiction. We took a passage from a public domain novel, rewrote it. The one I'm about to read is what I just did in the last 12 minutes, trying to inject the weird into this short little story about a girl alone in Paris. Here we go. For the first few weeks, the girl wandered Paris alone. The carriages, the signs, even the street lamps delighted her. She'd come from the country, and the city was an entirely new world to her. She even found herself a lover. Walking the Champs-Elysees one day, a man stepped up beside her, introduced himself. They found themselves in a cafe, then that night in each other's arms. She did not, however, remember meeting the second man. They
Oh,
had coffee daily at the other cafe, the one her father, a country lawyer, had told her to visit. He had been waiting for her. Elodie, Elodie, he called when she entered the cafe for the first time. Or was it late at night as she crossed the bridge toward Notre Dame and he'd been sitting legs wide, smile big on the steps and asked if she knew her way, which incidentally she didn't. Or it might have been on the banks of the Seine by the booksellers. She couldn't remember, but the coffee was good. She came back to her aunt's where she was staying near Luxembourg Gardens and told her about the man. Maybe she'd met him too. She had. They both started laughing, but neither knew why.
oh,
Yeah,
I love that. I mean, this is even just an interesting like exercise in rewriting something. Like it's fascinating to me like what you moved around and added and took away and restructured. So, but all that aside, this is fantastic.
thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, that was definitely the kind of like, oh gosh, am I going to stick? It almost served almost as like a prompt, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Thanks, Lore. I know Ian.
Yeah.
Ian has put one in the Discord. Welcome to the Discord, Ian. If anyone else wants to put one in,
Yes.
we will try to get to them and read them, and I'll try to get them up on screen too.
Yeah.
Sarah. Okay, so that was the weird. Hopefully that works. I think it works. The
I think it
injection
works.
of the strange, this second man is entirely foreign, was what I was going for. It's like she doesn't even know where she met him. Her aunt also knows him. So I was just trying to stick something in this story that was like really from left field. And that's where the second man came
I
from.
love it.
Sarah, I'm going to put yours up now. Do you want to
Perfect.
contextualize what this is and kind of maybe
Yeah.
briefly explain again what the Eerie is so that we have a sense of what you are
Yeah.
trying to achieve?
Absolutely. So, and Ian, I'm seeing your comment that says, I left most of what was written intact. I just added a bit here and there to give it an odd edge. Ian, I did the same thing you did. So I love that Asa rewrote and restructured what was there. I took the beginning of what was there and then deleted the second half and wrote my own half. And so, um, let's see. And I do also have, so the eerie again is going to be the failure of presence. So an unsettling absence because it's there when something else should be there, or the failure of absence, which feels like a double negative, which means that something is present that feels wrong or out of place, indicating that the absence we expect is not total. So that's going to be your hauntings, etc. So, yes, very. Oh my gosh. And Ian says I could spend 10 hours finessing this. Yeah, me too. Okay, contextually for this, I read girl as like a little girl, like a 7 or 8 year old, although I don't know who would let their 7 or 8 year old girl run around unaccompanied in Paris. But that's just what I imagined. So I'll read you here. Is it good to start reading?
Yes, let's read.
Perfect. Okay, so we're thinking a 7 or 8 year old girl. Okay, she was a little provincial girl who had come up to Paris for the first time. Her father, a country lawyer, had sent her to stay with her aunt for a month so that she might see the city. Her aunt lived in a quiet street near the Luxembourg Gardens, and the girl often went out walking alone. So far, it's the same. One afternoon, she wandered farther than usual and found herself on a great boulevard full of people and noise and sunlight. She stood for a moment watching the carriages go by and reading the signs above the cafes. She felt suddenly excited and free, as though she had escaped something. Then a man spoke to her. He was neatly dressed and smiling, and he began to walk beside her. She glanced at him, not wanting to stare, furtively, measuring the distance between them with her peripheral vision. The air outside was warm and smelled of coffee and cinnamon, filled with bright and busy chatter. But as the man grew closer, she thought the light dimmed, and she shivered, though surely it was just his shadow eclipsing the warmth and light of the sun. "Hello, little girl," he said pleasantly enough, and she risked acknowledging him by turning her head to look at him. His grin remained neatly in place beneath eyes that crinkled at the edges. He looked so familiar that she doubted her original sense of unease. "Who are you?" she asked bluntly, in a way that would have earned her a scolding from her mother. But her mother was not there. He did not stop smiling. "I'm an artist," he said, "and you are a beautiful little girl." She quickened her pace, almost unconsciously. "I need to get home," she said. His pace matched hers easily. "I painted you once, you know," he said, and the girl nearly halted in surprise, skewering him with a frown. "Your picture," he continued. "I saw your face in a dream. Has that ever happened to you?" "What?" she asked, speeding her pace yet again, the question serving less for clarification and more for distance. "Imagining someone to life," he responded. "I do it all the time." The air grew colder around them both as he continued. "That's where you came from." And that's where I stopped.
Pay me like one of your French girls, Sarah. This is so creepy.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Very
yeah.
cool. So, do you want to talk us through some of your thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, I kept a large chunk of the existing story and then decided to change it. And I changed it right after um, he began to walk beside her, because for me, that was the shifting point. Oh, thank you, B. Burns. You're wonderful. That's when things like changed for me. That's where I wanted things to get like really creepy. And so for me, what is creepy? Creepy and eerie. Um, I wanted it to feel, I wanted you to feel a sense of unease, which the little girl is feeling. And sorry, I'm just like talking through this now, remembering how it went as I wrote it. Giving that sense of something's missing. Her mother is very explicitly like not there. And again, she's here with her aunt, staying with her aunt in the country. And the man appearing, I know seems like an intrusion, but I wanted his intrusion to also like sort of feel like an absence. And so I talked about like the light gets dimmer and the air feels cooler. And, you know, at that point, it's like, well, do I want him to be a ghost or not? And then I decided, no, I don't want him to be a ghost because I want this to be a lot creepier. And so I thought that like a creepy man of suspect motives might be more scary than a ghost walking beside a little girl. And so I kept the premise that he was an artist and that he had painted her. Um, but I wanted to take away her presence with him, like sort of having invented her, having her question her reality, her identity. Obviously, this was a 13-minute exercise, so it's not fully fleshed out. But I wanted to play around with who is there and who is not there and what that means.
I think it's great, Sarah. I think it's so good.
Thank you.
I was also just in context of this exercise, I was imagining things. So, for example, one sentence that actually kind of grabbed me: the air outside was warm and smelled of coffee and cinnamon, filled with bright and busy chatter. And I was kind of like reaching for an interpretation of that where it shouldn't have smelled like coffee and cinnamon right there. I know you
Mm-hmm.
didn't write this, but I had like whatever, my imagination went there. It was like I imagined her walking through the gardens where is no coffee or cinnamon. And yeah, so I mean, I know that's not quite what you meant, but this was rich, and I love the contradiction where she questions herself. Where is that? Oh yeah, this part right here. He looked so familiar that she doubted her original sense of unease. Right, this kind of back and forth between what is real, what is not, what can she trust, her instincts. I want to share work from the gang, the group.
Yes.
This is from Ian. I'm going to throw something up right now. Okay, here we go. Ian, I'm going to read your piece here. And if I have to stop, I'm going to stop, but I have faith. All right. She was a little provincial girl who had come up to Paris. Wait, can we see it? No. Stand by. Here we go.
Ah, there we go.
Yes. Exciting times. Yes. Okay. She was a little provincial girl who had come up. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. She was a little provincial girl. I just want to make sure I'm on the right link. Hang on. Is this yours? Yes, it is, Ian. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Here we go. She was a little provincial girl who had come up to Paris for the first time. That was the story, at least. Her father, a country lawyer, who feared her gift may bring negative attention to his practice, had sent her to stay with her aunt for a month so that she might see the city. But truly, to be rid of her puberty-fueled random spikes of spiritual affluence. Her aunt lived in a quiet street near the Luxembourg Gardens, and the girl often went out walking alone. She, too, knew that alone was best. One afternoon, she wandered farther than usual and found herself on a great boulevard full of people and noise and sunlight. She stood for a moment, watching the carriages go by and reading the signs above the cafes, fighting the urge to destroy, when felt suddenly excited and free, as though she had escaped something. She took in a deep breath of manure and coal smoke and rotting trash. Then a man spoke to her. He was neatly dressed and smiling, and he began to walk beside her. At first she was afraid she may bubble up and rage, but his manner was so polite that she listened to him. He told her that he was an artist, that he loved life and beauty, and that she looked like a dream he had painted. She blushed and laughed. If only he knew.
Ooh.
The crowd moved around them indifferent. The girl hesitated, not knowing whether to go on or to turn back. Then, without quite realizing it, she let him lead her toward a cafe door. Inside, it was quiet and cool. She sat down, still laughing a little. If he thought he was about to get the better of her, leading her to some dank upstairs room, he had something else coming. She was hungry.
Oh.
Wow. Thank you, Ian, for that
I
contribution.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love that she's the weird. I love that.
That she's the weird. Ooh, yes. Okay. So Ian, in your words, to the best ability, and if you have a longer answer, you can feel free to put it in the Discord. But I'm curious for you, was this an example of the weird? Is this an example of the eerie? Is it both? What was your process like here as a writer? We're going to go ahead and do our live commentary here. Brilliant, Ian says, "Be fantastic." Ian, good job.
Yes.
Great. Laura, you all did an incredible job. Yes, and thanks for sharing, Ian. Okay, so what do you make of this, Sarah? You said you love it. What's resonating for you in this passage?
I'm gonna say, and for me, I think it felt a little more weird. I have it pulled up here in the Discord too. I don't know. I really identified with the character. I know that we've been having back and forth conversations about short story and the necessity of likable characters. I immediately liked this little girl. She's sort of unwanted by her family. She has a quote unquote gift that, if you've seen enough like paranormal sci-fi movies, read enough books and stuff, you're like, oh, what are we getting into? Alone being best. It sort of insinuates that she is dangerous, and like that hooks my curiosity as to like, okay, what is this girl capable of? Especially because the first sentence of the story is she was a little provincial girl, and it's like, go on. And then just in the final, we're kind of given clues as to what's going on, and then in the final sentence, she fully is recognized as the predator. Not like the predator from the movies, like, Alien versus Predator, but she is a type of predator, instead of the man who we would assume talking to a small girl in the streets of Paris would be a different type of predator. So I really like what you did there.
Yeah. And then it's just kind of a real classic, like, inverted expectation. We have a girl walking alone in a city, a dude steps up, we're immediately thrust into that narrative. Our imagination's going there. And that turns around with a poignant final line. She was hungry.
Love it.
Good times, everyone. That is a great passage. Let's see. Do we have anything else in the mix here? That concludes the presentation piece of this. Now would be a good time to like this video. I don't normally like make that ask, but it flew up. I know it's kind of silly, but it just came out of my fingertips here with the I'm not sharing the thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
But this was so fun. I feel like I made progress. Do you feel like you made progress?
I do. I not only feel like I was able to just write something that felt fun and good to write. I also I felt a sense of community with you all, and it felt wonderful. Like writing, like knowing that we were all writing from the same idea, even writing from the same passage. Knowing that we were doing that together, and then seeing how the different results came out was just, I don't know, really fulfilling for a Friday afternoon. So this is perfect.
Yeah, same y'all. Thank you always, just for building this, and Ian, welcome to the community. We saw you over in the Discord. Thanks. Lore B 51 Tesla. Anyone else was in the mix today? We appreciate you. And additionally, Sarah and I think the goal is to do at least a couple more of these here in October. So far, they've been really rewarding. And I feel like I come out informed and learning. And if you love horror, reading or writing, you should definitely jump in. Every Thursday, we are working our way through The Dark Descent, a collection and anthology of short horror fiction. It's book club vibes, live on the stream. They're really good stories. It's a low lift short story. It takes 22 minutes. So
love it. I love it.
Come.
Yes, you should come join us. We also do this every Friday, so come join us. Sometimes the time changes, which is another great reason to be on the Discord, so that we can let you know when we're streaming. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're here doing story club and writing short fiction together as a community. So
Sarah
and
I, depending on how you found us, Sarah and I both have YouTube channels, so there's other content apart from these great streams and so on. B says, "Thank you. This is really taking me out of my writing comfort zone." That's so
Me
nice to
too.
hear, B, and especially in this exercise format, I definitely find myself feeling the same way. Just thrust into making decisions, getting decisive.
Mhm.
So we're all in this together. Sarah and I both have channels. Subscribe. Ian is on AuthorTube as well, and we will see you all soon. See you all
We
soon. Thanks so
will
much.
next Wednesday, if not next Friday. So,
Yeah, I'd say both,
all
most
right,
likely.
friends. Okay,
All
thank
right.
you so much for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.